Hey, welcome. Happy Monday, everybody. Hey, Judy. Hi. Judy, will you invite followers so I can get it on? Hey, Adriana. Hey, will you invite followers so I can get this? Adriana's right on it. Boom, she got it. Hey, how you guys doing? Cool. So this morning, I'm gonna, bam, right there with it, girl. That's awesome. So this morning, I'm gonna show everybody how to make sprig molds. I talked a little bit about it last week. Hi, Dory. Thanks for joining. Hi, Lynn. Thanks for inviting followers. You have found items. I love found items. I have an eclectic mix of found items in front of me today. Sometimes I make my own, like I model something and I want to make a mold from it, but oftentimes found items are really great and you can incorporate them into your work. And I got some new things I'm trying today. I've got some pearl necklaces I'm going to try. I'm going to make a sprig out of these because I thought on a vase form, hi in Kentucky, I thought these would be beautiful going around a vase draped, you know, like a swag would be. So we're going to try these. I don't know if they'll work, and I have a note of caution. If you do use your own jewelry, you're probably going to ruin it because these are pearls that are on a cotton thread, which a lot of old jewelry is done that way, and I think the clay is going to get in there and ruin it, but I'm okay with that. Like I can deal with that. And so I'm going to quickly explain what a sprig is, using them in your work. Yeah, sprigs give you a lot of options. You know, what a sprig is you have an object, either you make an object or you find an object, and you want to take that and you want to put it in your work, but you don't want to epoxy it on after. You want to go ahead and make it and then stick it on while it's still wet. So I need to make these. Hi Max, thanks for joining in. I'm making sprig molds today. So I need to make these at the same time I'm making the pieces, right? So I have to have something to make the form in. So here is a grenade that I modeled grenade. And then this is a sprig mold I made from it. And hey Toby. And here's the finished, no, and we don't do that. So I have to block you now because we don't have comments like that on my scopes. Sorry. I did block that person, I think. I hope. Anyhow, if they do it again. Hi from Washington. Grenades. I know, it's always a good day for a grenade, right? So here's the starting one, the modeled. Here is a sprig mold, and here's a finished one that comes out. So let's compare the beginning, the modeled, to the finished. Now you'll notice that it's smaller. Yeah. Idiot. So you'll notice they're smaller, they shrink, and everything in clay shrinks, and this shrunk twice. One when I made this, and it shrunk down, and then I made the sprig, so it would have shrunk in this part here about 10%, and then another 10%. So you're looking at a 20% shrinkage rate, or whatever your clay is, double it. So if it's a porcelain that shrinks 12%. Now I'm using a cone, bonjour in France. You should have said hi to Judy. So this clay shrinks about 10%, and this is just my reclaim. It's a mix of stoneware. I did this with cast brass. Yeah, hi in Sweden. So I'm just going to show you the easy way to do it. You need something for a lubricant, right? So olive oil, cooking spray, any kind of nonstick cooking spray. Is it really bright, like the light, Karen, on me? Is that what you're saying? Because I feel like it's bright in my face. Is that what she's saying? I'm going to scoot it down. We're going to go more into, yeah, on the pieces more. That's what I'm going to do. You have to excuse my iPad in the, I'm going to zoom in. Better. Yeah, I have it bright. Yeah, if there's hard words, people will help you, of course. They'll help you clarify. So let's make some sprigs. So you'll see I've got this mix of things happening here. I've got an earring. I've got a pin, a couple pins actually. And here's some seashells. Someone had mentioned seashells, and I don't have any seashells sprigs. Here's a drawer pull. I know, it's hard to diffuse the light. And then I have some jewelry, some pearl necklaces that I'm going to press in the clay. And I don't know how these are going to work, so we're going to test it out here and see what happens. So I've got some clay here, and before I go, I was just get going, I was going to show one I made the other day. So, hi, thanks for joining. I'm making sprig molds. So here's one I made out of rifle ammunition the otce day. Clean that out. And then I've got this little guy. I thought I'd try this one. This is just a little 9mm that I'm going to give a go with. So start with clay. You want your clay pretty soft. And I usually make a little flat, not really a disc, just a flat piece that I'm going to cut, similar to the shape of the item I'm sprigging. So if this is what I'm going to put the sprig on, I want it a bit bigger, but not super huge. There's no need for it to be really big. So I've got that ready. Now I'm going to spray the object here with the nonstick cooking spray. And I don't want to get it all over everything, so I'm actually going to turn here. I'm going to turn to the side here and do it because I don't want... So I just squirted it with a bit of cooking spray. Twist them to make a little bow. You could totally do that. I'm going to actually use these as like a swag. So I pushed it about halfway down into the clay because you only really need half the profile. And then you can either use a knife or a needle tool and pop it out. So you see how easy that came out? Let me zoom in. And look at the impression I got. Like, that's really good. I get focus. Is that sharp? Yeah. So you can see the impression I got. And so this will just sit out and dry, and then I'll fire it in a bisque fire, and then I'll use it the next time that I make something. So but it's half. You know, it's a half. This is, you know, in the round. This is actually half, so it's more two-dimensional. And that's because I'll put it on the side of a piece. So let's try a seashell. Let's try that. So I just roll this out, and I'm pressing it. I want it kind of flat on each side when I start the pressing. Thanks for following me, everybody who's jumping on here. So I've got a couple seashells I got in North Carolina last summer. And I thought they would make nice little things. So let's give them a try. Cut this down a little bit. Cornstarch. Yeah, I use cornstarch too sometimes, Lynn. So what I have found, cornstarch works really well if I'm taking a stencil and I'm laying a stencil on a piece of clay and rolling or pressing it in. But the cooking spray works really good when you're pressing far in. Like I'm pressing really deep into this and I want it to release. So this is pretty thick. You need to have it thick enough. You can make sprigs for anything, Toby. Anything under the sun that you want, you can press in the clay. So this is at least ½ inch thick. And it's fine to be even thicker because what has to happen is I have to be able to push this down in, have enough clay come up around it to make the shape, but not so that the seashell goes through. So let's give this little guy a try. So I'm going to hit him with some, I want to show you how I'm lightly spritzing, but I don't want to do it on my mat. So let's see if I can hold this. So I'm just lightly spritzing it with the cooking spray. And you can use WD-40. I know Corey was on here and she said that's what she uses. And just press it down. Put that back together. I'm going to use my needle tool to pull it out. See, it popped right out. And look at that impression. I don't know if you guys can see. How far can I zoom this guy in? Let's see. Make a puppet friend out of sprig things. Yes, I could. So look at that impression. Is that focusing enough? Pretty good. I'm really happy with that, actually. This is well done. Yes, it's really detailed and very clean. And whenever you're making molds, you just want to make sure you don't have any undercuts. And what I mean by that is if I had pressed this down all the way into the clay was forming over it, it would have had what's called an undercut, and then your clay will get stuck inside and it won't come out. Alright, so let's try something Let's try something a little different. I did the seashell. Let's try this drawer pull. And if you go, you know, I rummaged out of an old drawer and I found this. And this isn't really decorative or super highly detailed, but it's still pretty cool. So we're going to try this one. But if you have a drawer pull, and you could just take it, yeah, great for making texture. So what I will do with this is I'll make a sprig mold of it, and then I will make one, which I then can use to press in, a bisque stamp basically. And I can do the same thing with the seashell one, right? Like I can make a sprig mold one of these, so make one and use it as a stamp from now on, and still have the mold. So let's give this guy a try. I went rummaging through my house to see what I had, and I honestly didn't have a lot of great little things. I was sort of disappointed. I thought I'd have lots of stuff in the junk drawer, and there really wasn't anything there. So pull it out. That's pretty good. It's not as interesting as some of the others. So, I mean, it's pretty simple, but it still could be really cool, and you could do a lot more with it. Now, here's something a little more detailed, and I don't know how that's going to work out. This is an earring that I've had forever, but I really like this part here, and I don't know if I'll get this detail down the bottom. Probably not, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it and see what happens. Hi, Diana. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining me. I'm making some sprig molds here. You never know till you try, right, Toby? So I'm just pressing that out flat. And I've got my earring. Hey, nice to see you. And I'm going to spray this with a non-stick cooking spray. And then line it up and press it down in. Now getting it out might be a little tricky. Right, the drawer, and it came out. Oh yeah. So there's, the light's so bright, but I want you guys to be able to see. So there's the earring. Flowers, you totally could put flowers on that, on the drawer pull. So the earring worked out really well. I don't know how well this is going to work. This little butterfly pin, it's so cute though. I want to give it a try, because I would love to make those out of porcelain. You know, a very thin sprig of that, of porcelain, and put it on a vase. I think that, or on one of my plates. So we'll see. We'll give that a try. Pat this lump of clay out. And if you want, after you make these and they've set up a bit, you can smooth the edges or cut the edges more if you need to. I don't, you know, for a sprig mold, they don't have to be refined. A sprig mold for a full-size rifle. You could, but I think you would probably want to do a plaster mold or a mold with, what is it, like foam rubber or something. I don't think you'd want to use this method. This is good for small things. Alright, so the butterfly has the cooking spray on it. Let's see what she does. Thanks for joining, everybody who's jumping on. This side's not. There we go. Ooh, it's nice. Oh, it came out so good. Oh, look. I don't know if you guys can see. Look at how good that came out. That is so awesome. Yay. Can you see the detail in there? So beautiful. And so that's from this pin right here. I'm so excited. I didn't think it would work. I thought it would stick and muck and I wouldn't get the detail, but you can see every little dot. So great. I'm thrilled. Yeah, that made my day. Yay! Okay, so what else do we have? I've got this little, this belonged to my great-grandmother, this pin. Thanks, I know. You know, when something works out. So this isn't really, this is plastic. Like, this is costume jewelry. This isn't even nice, but it was hers. And I have it, and I've had it in my jewelry box forever. And it just sits there. I never wear it. And I would love to make a mold of it, because a lot of my work deals with women's roles and identity. And my grandmother was, you know, she was born in 1908, and she lived through the Great Depression, and you know, she went through a lot, and I think, you know, she would be psyched to see what I'm doing now. All right, so here's a little pat of clay. Let me spray this guy. As long as I don't break it, I won't be upset. Yard sales are fantastic too for finding objects like this. Like, you know, you get a bunch of brooches. Oh, that's sweet. That's very sweet. Look. Look how sweet that is. Won't that be pretty? That's nice. So that came from this. Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. So that's a good one. All right, so the big thing. The big thing is these, the necklaces. That's the one that I'm really psyched. That's what started this all this morning, because I was thinking about what I was going to do today, and I planned on throwing some vases, and I was looking at my sketchbook, and I had drawn. Well, you know what? I can show you guys. Here we go. I know this is the thing that got me going this morning. Let me show you. So I had drawn this vase that I want to make. And on the vase, so here's a quick sketch that I drew of a vase I want to make. And if you see, I had all these little these little areas that I usually slip trail. But the problem with slip trailing that I have is I never get a completely uniform dot. And I don't know if you guys have the same issue. Yeah, I never, yeah, Toby doesn't get uniform dots when he sprig molds. So I thought, when he slip trails, I thought if I did a sprig mold of some pearls and then I pulled them out, I could drape them. So that's the thing, right? So this is, slip trail is where you take a liquid clay and a little bottle and you squirt on drops. Yes, using things that, these were my aunt's pearls. And I remember when I was going to a dance, I might have been in 8th grade, she gave them to me to wear that night, and then I went to give them back to her, and she said I could keep them, and it was just a gift. So I thought here, this part, this would be nice once they're all done, and so I could do a sprig if they work. So let's try it. I'm rolling out a big fat coil right now, and I'm going to flatten it. And I've never done necklaces, so anything this long I've never done, and I really want the length though. Just flattening this coil. Ooh, it's very exciting! And I think I'm just going to leave this wide, and I'll just trim it down after. Because that's definitely going to fit. I know. Hold on to your puppet self, Toby. I'm spraying it. I sprayed it. So it's sprayed. It's sprayed. We're going to start at this end here. And I'm just going to press in. Ooh, it's going in. And I don't know if these will even work after I, say I make the sprig mold and it works out fine for that. I don't know if the actual mold will be useful. Like when I make them, it might not work. So there they all are. Give them a... Alright, so there's the necklace in the clay. And I'll pull it up. So there's the little dots. Boop, 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 boop. Perfect little dots. Right? So there they are. So that's a... Thank you, Diana. So so perfect little circles. It did work. Yay! So there's this one. That's the smaller necklace. So that was my aunt's necklace. This is just a plastic one that I don't know where it came from. I've had it for a long time. Maybe it was mine when I was younger. Yeah, that would be really cool around a plate or a bowl. So I'm going to roll out another coil just like I did. I was looking for buttons, and I don't have any buttons in my house that aren't on clothes, so I didn't want to take them off the clothes. Although, I probably could just put plastic over it, cut a little slit where the button is, and just use it that way. I thought about doing that. So I know that the pearls will work. So this would work with anything that you have for a necklace. You know, if you have a bead necklace that has a really cool bead on it, maybe it's an oval or it's a faceted bead, you could try it that way and you would probably get this really cool pattern. I have some other necklaces in the house that have different size beads and everything, and I might give those a try too. So let's do this one. Spray it with a nonstick cooking spray. Just start here. Try doing my finger? Okay. Alright, I'll do that next, Toby. After I do this, I'll do my finger. Actually, doing the necklaces are easier than I thought. Much easier. I shouldn't talk like that because I could get in trouble. You know, it's almost hubris. And then pop them out. Boop, boop, boop. Out they come. So it's a bigger than the other. So there's that one. I'm going to lay this to the side. And I'll do a pan of all the sprigs I made after. And voila! Yes. All done. It's like magic. It's so cool, right? And I have more seashells I could do and everything. Let's see. All right, Toby wants me to try my hand, my finger. I don't know how exciting it'll be, but I'll do it just so that we can show him. As a special request. What I'm going to put, I'm working on this base. So this piece right here, this sketch that I made, I'm going to throw this form in multiple sections. I will throw a foot, the body, and then the neck and the mouth, the top. And then I'm going to add the pearls here. And then the sides have a place, either a grenade or maybe maybe the butterfly, you know, or maybe a combo of both. And the same thing down here, a little something. So usually, yeah, it's going to be super cool. Usually I will use slip trailing to get my replicas of pearls or something. Alright, we're going to do my thumb, which is not, I mean, you know what? We can do this. We could do my pointer finger, my index finger. Alright, so now if I ever had a building that was coated and you had to have my fingerprint to get in, you can actually see, that focusing, you can actually see the fingerprint. I don't know if that's focusing good. It doesn't, on my iPad it's showing it not clear, but do it with the nail facing down. Oh, picky. Alright, yes, we'll do it with that way too. So I have done them with acorns. You can go outside and collect, you know, acorns or nuts and things. Alright, so let's do it this side down, but I gotta kind of crush my hand into it. Oh, yeah, that's kind of weird, but we could... Alright, so there's nail side down, but the finger smushes out, right? So you get this really weird impression. But it's you know, that's my finger with the nail getting smushed. Fantastic. So, yeah, you could do, Toby, you could do fingers or hands, but if you get into casting like that, I think you want a more liquid material that you press into, and like a foam rubber. It's a little bit creepy. Yeah, some artists do impressions of teeth, not necessarily their teeth, but other teeth. Do your ear? Yes. Yes, I could. Change my name to Vincent. Alright, so there's my thumbnail side down. There you go, I know. That's right. I could be the next Van Gogh with little ear molds. I'm trying to think of the artist. I think it's Tara Donovan does body molds, teeth molds, and stuff. You'd pay to see me do my ear. A finger on a trigger. Right. It would be really hard to do your ear because you have to press so hard. It would hurt it would kind of be uncomfortable. I know, Toby. Toby, now you have to do sprig molds of yourself. We want to see your fingers or your hands. Right? Now you get yourself in the trouble. You're going to have to do that too. I would need an assistant, someone to help me. You're right, Lynn, I would. Alright, let's do seashell. I did the little one. This seashell has not only vertical stripes, but it has horizontal ones. So this one could make a really cool mold. And it won't work because they're foam. Oh no, Toby. Alright, so let's give this a go. The sprig mold split a little bit, that's not a problem. On the side right here. That doesn't matter though. Alright, so can you guys see all that detail in there? So you can make these at home from clay. You don't need to go get any plaster. You don't have to even mess with that. You don't have to get any fancy silicone. That's your favorite, yeah. So here's the seashell before, and here it is. Isn't that nice? It's really pretty. Lynn, I don't dry these anyway special. I just toss them on a shelf and let them sit out. And I've never had any problems with them cracking. You know, if you're in a really dry studio, maybe you want to cover them lightly and keep them from cracking. Because I mean, they're clay, and you can see that's pretty thick. You know, that's probably 3/4 of an inch thick, this piece here. So you might want to cover it and dry a tiny bit slower, but I wouldn't dry it, I wouldn't baby it like I do my porcelain. Not at all. Thanks for following me, Sean. I just saw that little notification. My studio is a 2-story barn. It's about 25 feet by 25 feet. It's a little square building. And then I have my kiln shed out back, which is 15 feet by 25. So it goes along the back of the studio. And I use the downstairs for all the making of the work, and upstairs is where I do my photography, I photograph the pieces, and I do my packing and shipping. And we store stuff up there, and my husband has some woodworking equipment up there that he clutters up my space with. Yeah, it's really nice. So this one's really beat up. You can see it has all these marks. It'll be interesting to see if I can get those marks that come through that wear. That is called the patina of experience on something, right? Oh, I bet if I went up there and looked through the drawers, I would find lots of things that I could mold. That's where I get my bullets from. They're his. So for those just joining in, I'm making sprig molds from found objects. And these are clay sprig molds. This one didn't work that well. The first one, that didn't work. I mean, it's kind of meh. So what I'm going to do it again though. I want it to work. So I'm going to try with more clay. Men always have stuff. It's true. I didn't think to rummage around up there before I started working. So what you see me doing is just wedging this clay. This is my reclaim, and I haven't wedged it yet. It's just in the bucket after I mixed it. Power tools. Well, you could I mean, there's so much up there I probably could find that would work. I want this to be really thick. I think the reason this other one didn't work is if you see how much depth there is to this object, you need to have your lump of clay at least as thick as that, right? And that other lump wasn't thick enough. So this lump's really thick. Hi, Dawn. Thanks for tuning in. This Monday, gorgeous Monday, late morning, almost noon. In Vermont here, it's going to be 70 degrees today, which is unheard of for April. But I will take it. So I sprayed that with a nonstick cooking spray, and now we're going to press it in again. Yeah, I'm so psyched to have warm weather. Winter lasts so long here. Okay, that's in. Let's see if it comes out smooth. Yeah, Alright, so it's not so bad. It's really rough. You see all the rough spots in there, but I think that's from the roughness that's already on the seashell. So it's coming out. Hi, Emily. I like your little emojis. Those are cute. So I've got one more. Still brown. Well, it's brown outside, Dawn. It's just warm. And I have nothing really blooming. You know, everything's just trying. Buds on trees, and some people's daffodils are up, but not mine yet. Maybe in a couple more days of this weather. So I'm getting a lump of clay ready to make this mold. So I think that's a little bigger than I need. The podcast. Ooh, did I miss it? Podcast about what? You can't chat amongst yourselves unless you share with me. William Baker. Okay. Who was that through? So William Baker's the one doing the podcast, or it was about William Baker? That looks good. I think that'll fit diagonal right there. On the Potter's Cast. Oh, I just watched, I just listened to this more. Yeah, Paul. I interviewed with him a few weeks ago. Mine will be on in June. You guys will catch me like yammering on in June on that. I listened to Dedham this morning. I'm behind. Yeah, Judy told him. Judy, yes, I remember Judy. I remember. I had just met Paul Blaze. We were at the hotel. I was attacking them. We were at the hotel room sale that Dedham was having with Troy, and Paul was in the hall, and I didn't know him. And Judy goes up to him and is chatting with him and knows him. And Knob One and Sgraffito. Yeah, so Judy goes up to him and is like, you've got to interview her, you've got to put her on. And so I hung out with Paul a little bit at NCECA and everything, and then he emailed me after I got back home. So Judy, thank you. I have to give you a shout out for that. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be on it. But it won't be till June, and I will let everybody here know the exact date. It's exciting. I have the best story. Well, we'll see how the interview went, right? We talked a little bit about it in June. All right, so I just trimmed the sides a little bit, which I think I'm going to do on all of them because I don't need this excess clay. Yeah, it is pretty cool. It's so funny, though, because I had never listened to the Potter's Cast until after I met Paul at NCECA, which was kind of funny, and I felt bad because I'm like, I never listened to you. Oh, I want to throw this out there. Another great thing about using the nonstick cooking spray as your lubricant for all this, it doesn't hurt the clay. Like, if you wedge this clay back up, it really won't hurt it. I have 200 episodes because I started listening to it when we got back. I'm just going to trim these up. Yeah, I didn't even know about it. I had listened to Ben Carter's Tales of the Red Clay Rambler a few times. But often in the studio I like music. I zone out, and if someone's talking, I miss everything. So I don't use them in the studio that much. Oil is good for the steel parts of the tool. Yeah, right. So not only am I making my sprig molds, I am oiling my knives. Yeah, I zone out when I'm working. I don't know if you guys do that. You just get in the zone, right? And you're just doing your thing, and you're not really paying attention. And there might be something playing in the background, but you're not focusing on it. And I would find I'd be listening to a cast, and I would have missed most of it. Right. I only listen to about one a day now. It's information overload if I do more than that. So I trimmed that one up, that butterfly. Still my favorite. And for those, if you didn't see me press it out I use this pin right here, and I press it into the clay. Can't talk and work. Yeah, if you're really paying attention, you either aren't paying attention to the thing you're listening to or not the work, right? You have to pick. Thanks for tuning in, Lynn. Have a good day. So here's that really sweet little swan pin that was my great-grandmother's. Ooh, I'm going to hold it like this. So it's facing, another thing I want to say is, you see how it's facing in this direction and the mold is the opposite? But when you press your sprig in, it's going to come back out facing this way. It'll correct it. So reverse and then reverse it back, right? So if you do text, don't worry about it. You could press text into this and make a sprig mold from it. I'm not sure you'd want to, because you could use stamping, but you never know. You might have an object that has text on it and it will come out. So you'll have it there, which is just a cool little thing, right? So I'm just trimming these all up and get that excess off. The other thing you can do is, once you make these, if you're worried about the clay being too thick and you need some air to get in here, you can take your needle tool and you can just go in and make a few holes around it. I don't know how much of a difference this makes. Where did I see this? Is it Kristen Kiefer? Someone who does a lot of stamps or big pieces, thick pieces. She does this. I don't know where I saw this. Maybe I didn't see it somewhere. I don't know. So you could just put holes in it all the way around, and that helps it dry, maybe, and get some air in there. I don't know. I don't usually do that, honestly. I find that just by trimming them up closer to the mold, it's enough. I don't have to worry about them blowing up in the kiln. Oh, you know what else I have to make today? I have to make some cone packs. I went to get my clay this weekend, and they didn't have any self-supporting cones. They're completely out. And they also were out of the cone plaques, the holders that you can put the regular ones in. So they're out of all of that. So I actually have to go ahead and make my own cone packs. And I don't hate doing it. I don't really mind. It's just another little thing. Poke the holes in the masks when you were young, Emily. Yeah, it just makes sense, right? You let the air in. But, oh, well, I can do cone packs. Should I get off and do a scope that says how to make cone packs? Because this one says sprig molds. People might not know where to find it. What do you guys think? Make your own cone packs? Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to trim these up and I'll do that. Yeah, I've got the clay right here. And I'll do it. All right. Okay. Well, how about that, guys? I think we're good on the molds. Let me show you quickly before I switch over to cone packs. Hey, let me switch you guys down. Double tap. So, now never mind my tripod legs in the way, but here are the sprigs that I made today. So you can see them. I'm more than happy. Here's the necklace ones. So here's the necklace. I will do the cone packs. I'll do them. Let me just get my cone packs together and give me like 5 minutes, and I'll jump back on and I'll do cone packs. And if you can't join me live, catch it on replay. It's good knowledge. Good stuff to know. All right. Okay, guys. I'll see you in a few minutes. I'll catch you then. Bye. All right. Sounds good. See you.